Well, General Obene, I think that you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of, when you say that the military came from the society. I think it's very important to remember that they also have family, they have relatives. And so if things are not also going well within the military, these things are about to filter down or filter out to the general public as to how matters are being handled, especially when it concerns the welfare of soldiers. But on the other hand, let's talk about what you talked about, the involvement of the military in politics, or the involvement of the military by politicians. Were you referring to just utterances, or were you referring to the role of the military in elections?
Well, the role of the military in elections, you see, the military remains in barracks. It's because these same politicians, as a nation, we have failed to develop the Nigeria police force. We have failed to train them, we have failed to equip them. See, in peacetime, the Nigeria police is the first line of defense, and their primary assignment is internal operation. It is when it is getting out of hand to a proportion that they cannot cope by virtue of their minimal armament that the military is coming to quell the situation and go back. But politicians today feel more comfortable bringing out the military from the barracks and perpetually leaving them in the streets. And so just as the politicians, as the police have been weakened, the Nigerian military gradually is also being weakened because we now concentrate more on internal operations. Now, on the area of support for politics, the responsibility of peace and safety rests on the shoulders of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And we know how erratic our political society is. And therefore, if the society does not respect the average policeman with a baton, they feel that, look, the second level of protection, or what we call show of force, is the Nigerian military. So keep them at a distance away from the next before the police, and the police is the nearest to the polling booth. And I think that in most of their actions, the Nigerian military has not been involved in more than what they have been deployed. I have not heard of any case where the military has gone to disrupt an election, or they have gone to carry ballot box, or they are even completing and all that. Such soldiers, if they are caught, they are going to be sanctioned, in fact, dismissed. It's intolerable. In fact, past Chief of Army Staff has also brought out rules of engagement on how to support democracy.
Is it definitely
just it is the duty of the CNC to deploy the military to guarantee safety.
Well, General, you've spoken about,
who don't have confidence on the police.
If I may come into your conversation, General, I don't know if you can hear me. Good. Now, you talked about the weakening of the Nigeria police. I think it's also important to note now that the Nigeria police also carry arms. You don't have the Nigeria police just carrying batons. They're also allowed to carry rifles. And you're also worried about the weakening of the military as well. Is it something you would recommend that the Nigerian military continues to be involved in internal security operations?
It's neither here nor there. Like I said, if the police is well exposed to handle that responsibility, and people begin to gain confidence in the police, and the police is really orientated, supported by the populace, then the military will go back to the barracks. You have virtually every roadblock. Every roadblock you see in this country has been taken over by the military. What are we doing in roadblocks? We go back to our barracks, we are regimented people. When there is the need, we come out. So it is also the responsibility of politicians to leave the military in the barracks and bring us out only for emergency purposes. So election is very important to the survival of this nation. And if the commander-in-chief haven't consulted with all the intelligence and security agencies and other stakeholders and said that, look, there is a need to bring out the military to support what the police is doing, I think it falls within the purview of Mr. President's responsibility to do that.
All right, Captain General Obene, we have to wrap up. Could you tell us in closing, this, because yesterday the news broke that Nigerian military will be leading the other counterparts troops into Sambisa forest. What kind of impact do you think that will have in our fight against this insurgency?
Well, everything is democratized, and that's what the value that the Western world has told to us. If the Nigerian military, in conjunction with multinational joint forces from our neighbors, are to stop nothing that should be in the marketplace. Unfortunate that it is in the marketplace, and we have very issues. That is already, operation that is already compromised. Knowing full well that, Boko Haram has also infiltrated into our system. So, seeing it in the papers, I was very disappointed. And I asked myself, is it a propaganda or it is really going to take place? Because that should be a secret and a very vital operation that we need. We had the issues of Chad, pulling out of the multinational joint force, and it's quite refreshing for some of us to hear that, such, is in back that, the operation in Sambisa being in the pages of paper, it's very unfortunate. It's supposed to be, a covert operation, and we only see the results and the effects after the operation has been carried out. But I hope that it is not compromised. I hope that we have overwhelming force and that we'll be able to storm Sambisa forest and, give a very serious blow to the enemy and send a strong signal that we are actually able to deal with us. And our contiguous neighbors have no option than to support us, because if Nigeria is weakened, they are worse for it.
All right, thank you for speaking with us this morning. Brigadier General Williams Obene, retired, is a former commandant of the Nigerian Army Infantry School. He's also a counter-terrorism expert.